Hey, it's Jessie from Squeegee Inc. In this video, we're going to show you our 8 top tips on how to print oversized designs onto t-shirts. The design we're going to be showing you today is this really large one from our own brand, Blind Maggot. Blind Maggot is the t-shirt brand that we started and able to fund the videos that we're producing today. So it gives us some great content and lets us show you how we do all these special designs. We print these in limited edition, so this one's one of 50, and we've also got a special discount code just for our Squeegee viewers. So I'll write that in the description below, but it's Squeegee and you can use that on the Blind Maggot website. Our number one tip is measuring that platen before you start printing. So this is an M&R Cruiser and the platen is 16 by 22 inches. So I would suggest the maximum print area for this platen is about 3 centimeters away from the edge all the way around, which makes our maximum print area 50 by 35 centimeters, which is the print that we're going to be printing today. If you happen to have the same platen as us, we've actually made a template online on our website. It's a registration template, and there you can see the platen size and even registration marks already in there, just to make it a little bit easier and to make sure you don't make your image too large. Our second tip would be to check the size of your smallest t-shirt. So I mean physically get that t-shirt onto the platen. What you're looking for is to make sure that your image area is printable. So for example, on some smaller shirts or even lady fit shirts, you'll find that the seams cut into the image area and they may actually raise up on the sides. It just means that you need to take those into consideration and maybe reduce the maximum print area slightly to compensate for those. Our third tip is going to be checking that you've got a big enough screen and that screen is larger than your platen area. This is because the screen size has a printable area. So for example, this is a 23 by 31 inch screen, and we would suggest that this has a really good comfortable print area of around 35 to 50 centimeters. That's because you actually don't want to be printing with the mesh that's right next to the edge of the frame, because the tension is really high, whereas you want to kind of cut into it a little bit. It's flexible enough and you're going to be able to clear that mesh easily. This is the 23 by 31 inch screen. That's the outside screen dimensions, and then I think that the printable area of this screen cuts in a bit by a couple of inches all the way around the frame. That's because it's harder to clear the mesh when it's near the edge of the frame, because the tension is very high. So this would actually be perfect for an oversized image. And as you can see, we can use almost all of that platen area to print our oversized t-shirt design. The fourth tip is going to be determining the squeegee length that you want to use in your printing. So say if you've got this squeegee, we want to go for a 35 centimeter wide image, but this one is only 30 centimeters. So it might be tempting to print that once here and then over here, but you're going to get a double up of ink, so we don't want to be using that one. This one can actually fit all the way inside the screen. However, it's going to be putting a lot of tension down on the corners, and it's just going to deposit a different deposit of ink on the platen. It's just going to mean that we're not clearing the mesh really thoroughly. So even though it does fit, it's still too large. So I would pick this squeegee. It's 41 centimeters long and it's easily going to fit within the inside dimensions of that screen. And if we're printing an image which is 35 centimeters wide, we're even giving ourselves a couple of centimeters either side of that image in order to be able to clear it in one pass. So that's the one I'm going to pick. So if you already don't have the perfect squeegee, afraid you're going to have to either purchase a new one that's going to fit or reduce your image size. Our fifth tip is definitely have to be considering the mesh tension of those screens. So sometimes you can get away with a lower tension screen for smaller images, but with big images you're not going to get away with it. That's because when you're printing, the mesh is going to ripple very slightly, but then when you get to the end it's not going to print very clear. So try and go for a brand new screen, and that is especially important if you're doing multicolour images that need to keep their register from colour to colour. So now I've determined my screen size, maximum print area and which squeegee I'm going to print with. I'm just going to go and expose my screens, and I'll be back with those last two tips. Tip 6 has to be keeping that shirt in place when you're printing. So recently we switched over to this dual tack PMI tape, and it's basically double-sided sticky tape, but it holds down your shirt really nicely, and it's also not too much, so that when you peel your shirt off you're not going to warp any of your design or anything like that. So it also, we do it so it goes right to the edges and we actually cut it down, and that's going to be perfect for oversized prints because it holds it down evenly all the way over the surface. Of course you can still use your water-based adhesive and spray tack if you're using that, but we've just found that you need to get it right the way up to the edges and keep it really even to hold down that shirt in place when you're printing. So we just found it easier to use the dual tack PMI tape, and that way we don't have to worry about it. So I've taped up my screens and I've loaded my ink, and something that I forgot to mention was that I have gone round and checked my off contact, which is that distance between the bottom of the screen and the shirt. So that's nice and even all the way around the whole image area on all 4 of my patterns. Point 7 is to make sure that you clear your mesh. So with this image, it's a large image area and there's a lot of open mesh. So I'm going to actually push my squeegee just because I feel like I can apply more pressure that way. So I think I cleared that pretty well. As you can see, it has printed nice and evenly. This particular image is very textured and a raster image. However, you can see that there isn't any thick and then thin deposits of ink, so I'm really happy with that. The final tip is definitely going to be about getting a nice big flash dryer. So we use the black flash, which is a BBC one, and it's just got an enormous heating element, and it's going to cover the entire platen area and therefore image area and make sure that's nice and dry. This is especially important if you're printing white ink onto black garments and you want to do an underbase, or printing multicolour images. The way that you can tell if your image is flashed nicely is if you can just touch the 4 extremes of your image area and no plastisol is lifting off onto your hand. That means that you're flashing it for the correct time and that your flash dryer is getting heat to all of those areas of the print. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful. Please write any comments or questions in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well, because that really helps our channel. Don't forget that you can get a massive £10 off these t-shirts, and that's using the discount code Squeegee, and that's in the description as well, and that's on the blindmaggot.co.uk website. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to list most of the products that we're using in the video in the description below, just so that you can see what we're using and maybe get some yourself. If you're in the UK, you can use the discount code for Screen Print World, which is CRP5, and that will get you a discount off almost everything you can see here.
Off you go. Stop it, for goodness sake.